I'm very happy to introduce Francesca Leah Block.
Read from the Frenzy, the first chapter. This is the cover. Live. At some point in everyone's life, they ask the question, who am I? 4 years ago, when I turned 13, I asked the question, what am I? I had changed, but I didn't know how or why or what I had become. It was my 13th birthday. I woke early in my lavender canopy bed with a tight, painful feeling in my abdomen and went to the bathroom. There was a stain on my white cotton lace-trimmed underwear. My face in the mirror was paler than usual, making my eyes glitter a poison green, and I suddenly felt ashamed of the telling, bright red color of my hair. I had never minded it before. Outside of our 3-story colonial house, snow fell over the winter garden, where lilies waited under the earth, and I imagined my blood staining all that whiteness. I washed and used the pads my mother had given me, got dressed, and went downstairs. I smelled the sausages my parents had cooked for breakfast before they went out hunting deer, and my stomach cramped again, this time with hunger, but I had vowed to be a vegetarian starting on this day. I'd seen a show about the cruel conditions livestock were exposed to, and I thought maybe if I didn't eat blood, I'd keep the blood from flowing out of my body. So even though I craved red meat, I ate cornflakes and milk instead. When I saw my mother's truck coming up the snowy driveway, I ran out of the house. I wanted to tell her about my period. She called it the curse, but she said it with an almost gleeful smile. I am usually a mess, and my mother is an ex-beauty queen whose hair and makeup are always perfect, even when she's hunting deer in the woods. You would never know we are mother and daughter. That day, she looked perfect as usual with her sleek chestnut brown hair and a high ponytail, her pink lipstick neatly applied, and her bright orange down jacket. She was in the truck with my father and her hunting dog, Scoot. My parents had met in high school. He was the quarterback and she was the student body president, but they didn't have much of a relationship anymore. They hardly went anywhere together or even spoke much to each other except to complain, but that morning they were talking in an animated way. Their voices made me pause. My ears perked and my vision seemed to become more focused. That was when I saw the wolf bleeding through the bag in the back of the truck. I was only a 13-year-old girl with a temper, but when I saw the bloody wolf in the back of my mother's truck, I seethed with rage. I could smell blood. It seemed like my sense of smell had suddenly sharpened, and I wasn't sure if it was my blood or my mother's or the wolf's. My head felt light and my knees were weak. I lunged forward toward the moving truck. My mother slammed the brakes and screamed at me. The silver cross she always wore around her neck glittered harshly in the white winter light. My body hit the car door and I fell back onto the ground. The impact shook me, woke me. Scoot was baring his teeth at me through the window. I was trying to attack my mother who had taken care of me since I was born, who had dressed me up like her doll, combed out my waist-length hair and made sure I had the things I needed. She had made photo albums full of pictures of me, dressed in the special outfits she got from catalogs or on trips to the city. She was always telling people how pretty and smart and athletic I was, how well I did in school, how if I learned to control my temper, I could have everything I wanted when I grew up. But now I was acting like a monster. I backed away as she opened the truck door. Liv, what the? I turned. It took all my will, and I ran from her then. I ran and ran until I reached my woods. The woods nearby that I had always loved more than my own floral print bedroom in my own dollhouse perfect home. I threw my body in among the trees where everything was dark and so much safer. I didn't understand what happened to me next. I only remember it in fragments like a dream. My heart pounded in my ears and branches crackled and broke around me. Suddenly I was hot, so hot I didn't want my clothes. I pulled off my shirt as I ran. My bare shoulders were lashed, bloodied by winter branches, like dark arms bearing knives. I fell to the icy ground to all fours, panting. I tossed my head. My neck hurt, my jaw ached, my eyes burned. The sounds in my ears were furious and loud. I could smell the world. It smelled of fear and sickness and hate. Even the forest smelled like death. My hips felt as if they were being torn apart. I crouched down, and then I sprang, and then I ran and ran, trying to get away from myself and my desire to turn back and find my pretty, cheerful, slender little mother and kill her.